Hello everybody, my name is David. Thank you for watching. This is my question and answer video that I do every single Monday. I'm answering people's questions from last Monday, the last Q&A video. Any questions you guys have, go down in the comment section. Please ask me anything you want. I will answer them next week in the next Q&A video next Monday. So, next question is from Sawa. And I don't know where you're from. All I ask you guys is please give me your location. Tell us where you are from if you would like to ask a question. Thank you. My soon-to-be ex-husband and I were together for 4 years. We started therapy a couple months before we got married. Married 6 months and he asked for divorce. We were in therapy for about 8 months total together, where we had individual sessions plus couples sessions. In the beginning, he was all for it, even when I, the non, found it so exhausting. He would say, "I'm just happy we are finally talking about the issues." He made me believe he was in this for the long haul, promised he would never stop working on us. He was diagnosed with BPD, borderline personality disorder, the week he quit therapy, stating it no longer works, it's taking too long, and all of a sudden he doesn't like the therapist anymore because all they do is talk about his childhood. We got the official BPD diagnosis in the mail because he had quit. From what I read about BPD, it is that they have fear of abandonment, yet he left, filed for divorce, and I'm waiting to get served. I'm confused. Now I know for a fact that the sessions we did were tailored for BPD, but it's just that the therapist, for whatever reason, didn't tell us about the BPD. Would it have helped if the therapist had told us about the diagnosis sooner? What do you think was the reason he left? I begged him to stay and continue therapy to work on things, but he still left saying he feels his needs are not met and that we are incompatible, which is full of crap because 3 months before he filed, he had asked for a divorce, stating the same reasons, but in couples therapy. We were able to come to a conclusion that claims are not true. Can I ever convince or show him that I won't abandon him? So, first of all, I want to answer that. Can you ever convince or show him that I won't abandon him? That is not your job. And I'm saying that because he's diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and he fears abandonment. So I don't think there's an amount that can do that. But that is also not your job. This guy is sick and needs help. Okay? He needs professional help. And this is not something that other people, like his girlfriend, can do for him. So I don't think you can convince him you won't abandon him. I don't think it seems like it. Why did he leave you? That's what people tend to do who fear abandonment. Enough. They make their fears come to fruition almost, right? The technical way of explaining it is after they have invested in the relationship with you, right? You invested, and when it was over, you feel like you lost a part of yourself, right? Part of themselves are invested in this relationship with you. They fear abandonment so much that they'll actually abandon you first before you abandon them. And in all actuality, they are abandoning a part of themselves. They're abandoning what may be important to them or their relationship or future or how they feel or things like this. So they abandon. People that abandon or have such a fear of abandonment may abandon. So if your partner just absolutely fears abandonment, that's not going to add very much security to you or the relationship. And then we're going to spend our time trying to reassure them we won't abandon them. And a healthy thing to do in a relationship to a certain point is to reassure somebody to give them the security that they would like or need or require. But to somebody who has borderline personality disorder, that may be impossible to reassure them enough to add it to make them feel secure in a relationship. They don't feel secure in life, and they need to get help alone. Why did your therapist wait? I wouldn't know that. I'm guessing maybe your therapist wasn't aware he had the disorder until he ended therapy. That's probably why he ended it, is when she or he realizes that he has a disorder. Something that I want to say that I think is extremely important is there's a huge difference between seeking therapy with or as couples or with somebody else than by yourself. And I know you stated that you had personal therapy from this person and couples therapy from this person. And I'd almost keep that separate. I'd have your therapist, he has his therapist, and then you guys see another therapist for couples. Because what's way more important is the therapist that each of you is seeing alone, separately. That's way more important than couples therapy, especially when you have personality disorders. Those need to be addressed, treated, give attention to. You can't deny a personality disorder and go to couples therapy and make it work. I don't think someone with borderline personality disorder can be in a functional relationship anyways. So it's pointless. I would hope that after some time that your therapist would realize that, after your therapist realized that they have a personality disorder. But you know, when you go to see a professional together, it's about that relationship just working out, really. I've given private sessions to couples, to families, things like this, people together, and I don't feel like it's my job to sit and pinpoint what's wrong with any of them. It's just to get along, meet halfway. What's real common, I think the most common problem in intimate relationships and marriages that are having problems, the biggest problem is just that fear of vulnerability. I call it a standoff, a stare down. It's where two people in a relationship just don't want to be hurt. And it's kind of like, you go first. You be vulnerable, and then I'll be okay before I do. You know, it's kind of like that. And you have somebody in the middle that just, you know, makes a little bit safer feeling environment for both of them to open up. And you have that other person that knows how to make this work a little bit in the conversation. They meet halfway, they get to tell each other how they really feel, and then usually it's okay. But if you have a personality disorder involved in one of these people or both, good luck. Pointless, I think. I think that the personality disorder needs to be addressed before any relationship. And that means end the relationship or put it on, you know, halt or whatever. But I think it needs to be all about that person and what they do. It needs to be all for them, and not be trying to do stuff for other people and be responsible in relationships, because they can't. Oh, that makes sense. Thank you. Submarimoa from Canada. Hello. Thank you so much for your videos. You are so welcome. 22-year-old female, borderline, from Toronto here. I have an insecurity issue that is ruining my life, and my question is, how can I stop hating men for instinctively wanting to check out other women? When my boyfriend does this, I feel hurt and like I'm not enough. I watched my father gawk at other women in front of my mother growing up, and I can never forget how much it hurt my mom. Why do I feel like something is taken away from me when my boyfriend checks out another woman, and how can I change? Okay, so the reason you feel like that is because it's not right to you. It's a principle of yours. And we must keep our principles firmly intact, in ground, and not move. So not only is it not, if my principle is to remain loyal and faithful and honest to my partner, then not only do I need to be like that, because if I'm not, if I go and cheat on my partner and I went against my principles, that wasn't me. I did something that wasn't me. I don't feel like myself. I feel guilty. I feel ashamed. You see that? It also goes the same with people in your life that you choose to have in your life. And that could be friends. That could be family. That could be your boyfriend. And if this is the type of man that he is, why do you want to change him? That's the way he is. Go let him be like that. He'll find a woman that it's okay with. I hope. I guess. I don't know. But that's not what you like. So don't date someone that does it. It's that simple. Women and men out there, it's that simple. That's why I make my clients come up with a standard list. This is what I like, this is what I don't like in people. And it's real easy. If it becomes hard, you just write down what kind of person you want to be and what kind of things you don't like to do. And that's the kind of people you should have in your life. Okay? And I'm not saying identifiers. I'm not saying people that look like you, dress like you, have the same job, or live in the same country, or any of that. No. People who share principles. Okay? Also, your last question was, how can I change? I don't know if you meant how can you change him? You can't. How can you change? Well, I don't think you should change your principles. I think that having principles like you do are good ones. Being faithful, loyal, honest, add security in relationships to people. You said you have borderline personality disorder and you're 22 years old. So, like I was just telling the last person, if this is untreated, then you're not going to have success in intimate relationships until this is treated. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not a doctor, a therapist, or anything like that. Just a life coach. It's just it's coming from my experience, not just personal. Other people's too. Work on yourself completely and do it away from this person. This person doesn't support you. This person doesn't add security in your relationship. And I'm not going to accuse them of doing anything. I'm just saying they're not adding security. If you don't feel secure in your relationships, then he's not adding security or providing security. I'm not saying he should try harder or change anything. I'm just saying that's the way it is right now. And besides going, see, this is where maybe a couple would say, let's go to a couples therapist and let's work on how to get him to stop doing this. Because what's going to happen, right? Either he's got to stop doing it or you have to accept it. And if you have a personality disorder, I don't think you're going to find a very healthy way to do that. I don't think there's a healthy way to accept it because it goes against what you believe. It goes against what you want. It goes against what you need. This is a need. We need security in our relationships. Cheating isn't just physical, having sex with someone, guys. Not even just kissing. Kissing's cheating. Talking to someone behind your partner's back is cheating. Looking across the room and winking at someone, smiling, flirting, it's cheating. It's cheating. Doing it in front of you when you don't want them to and it hurts you and they continue it, that is abuse. I'm not saying they do that. Your perception is, you're telling me that that's what they're doing. And if that's true, then that's abuse. So you're being abused. Someone with a personality disorder is going to be very difficult to stop that abuse. Get help, okay? Totally work on you. Totally. DBT, CBT, talk therapy. Give yourself lots of time and try not to enter an intimate relationship with anyone until you start getting better, feeling better, learn how to communicate, talk, understand things, okay, better? Do it for yourself. You're worth it. Life is worth it. Relationships are worth it. They don't have to be like this. It must be very difficult for you, and I'm very sorry. It doesn't have to be. There's hope. I promise. Sun Girl, Houston, Texas. David, what if there is a nest of them at a job? There is a leader and the followers, and they know if you won't bend into them. Then they start attacking with passive-aggressive comments. I'm just bringing up the subject to bring light to it. Yeah, I mean, I think I was saying in part 1, part 2. We can't avoid them, guys. We don't have to have intimate relationships with them. We don't have to have any relationships with them. But we can't avoid them in society, and we can't avoid society. We have to work, so we have to work with them sometimes. How much? How far? That's up to you. That's all I can say. Your tolerance level is your tolerance level. It's about communication. It really is. That's all boundaries are, is communication. You know, one thing that's preached and preached and preached is no contact, no contact, no contact, end relationships. And that's not always the healthiest thing to do in the psychology world. That's a red flag on its own. Someone's ending all these relationships in their life. Uh-oh, watch out. Why? What's going on? So a lot of it is learning how to deal with people. I've got, clients that realize they're in abusive relationships and they get out. And then they start realizing that they've got very unhealthy family that might have been abusing them for many years. and they tell me they still want a relationship with them. I get that. I get that. Let's see if it's possible. Right now, it's not. You haven't learned how to communicate with them for yourself. You've learned how to do it for them, not for you. So start learning these things. Maybe someday you go back and you can have a relationship with your parents, even though they abused you. Maybe you learn how to make the abuse stop, and you've healed from the past. So it's okay when you deal with them and talk to them. You don't feel scared, worried, anxious, depressed, angry, sad. None of these things. You've dealt with it. You've processed the past. You're comfortable with the past. You've learned how to communicate how you feel and what you want now. And maybe you'll be able to do that with people, with narcissists. That's the goal. That's the goal. We don't need to sit and, walk around with a checklist and say, oh, yeah, you're that narcissist. Get out of my life. I mean, who knows how many there really are? And that's too hard to identify them. I mean, even doctors can't identify psychopaths. So good luck with that. I hope I make sense. It's about communicating. It's about learning. We got in a lot of this trouble because how we feel about ourselves. We start picking up our self-worth, dealing with our past. Then we don't let people like that affect us so much. That's a real key thing right there. Hope that makes sense. Thank you. Hi, David Jesse from Colorado. Hello, Jesse. What is your opinion on technology and privacy? Should cell phones be accessible to both parties in a relationship, or are they something private? Good question. I'm not going to really determine that for couples. I think that's up to them, up to couples, up into the individuals or couples. What do they agree on? We need privacy in relationships. Okay, so we need to keep our privacy. That's very vitally important. That's an emotional need that we all have, and you must have in a relationship. Key element, privacy. When it gets that bad to checking cell phones, there's a problem, right? And that's not the solution. That's like I go to the bar and get wasted because my girlfriend dumped me, and all these bad emotional stuff I'm going through, so I go get drunk. It's not my drinking isn't the problem. It's me not being able to cope with these things in life. So I learn how to cope with these things appropriately. I won't need to drink. So what's happening in this relationship is two parties that are checking each other's cell phones don't trust each other. They don't know how to provide security in the relationships, or these people are too insecure that you can't provide enough. The issues are most likely with the individuals. But the very least that people can do is learn how to deal with this, learn how to communicate your fears. You guys are scared. What are you scared of? Cheating. What's going on? Did someone cheat? Is someone cheating? Was it not dealt with appropriately? I mean, if someone cheats and you want that relationship to continue, my God, that person that cheated better be very cooperative and very clear on what they did, that it was wrong, that they're sorry, and they will never do it again. Because if they don't provide that kind of security in a relationship, you're not going to be able to move on from cheating. You're going to wonder if they're going to do it again until they provide enough security and tell you and let you feel, I will never do that again. Checking phones won't help. Checking phones will make that issue worse because now there's no trust. Not checking the phones builds trust. Not looking to see if someone cheated, that's not going to build trust. That's false security. False. Security needs to be the other person telling you, Jesse, I'll never cheat on you. Is there something I've done to make you feel this way? Please tell me, because I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to ever make you feel like I'm cheating on you. I don't want to make you feel like I would. I don't want to make you feel like I want to. I want you to know that you're the only person ever. So what have I done? Let me know. Do you see that? I mean, God, if you're not getting that, if you're not getting that feeling inside, like they don't care, or that they care, that they won't do it again, there's a problem. We don't just move on. Nope. We stop right there until this is fixed. If it's not fixed, then we move on apart. Checking phones isn't the answer. I promise. Thank you. Ask me more if you want to. Sun Girl from Houston. I'm just wondering, don't borderlines have hundreds of other channels to pick for advice? Sure. Just wanted to say borderlines lie, fake everything, fake illnesses, fake suicide attempts, fake stalking, if you can believe that, fake telling you that their family members are sick so they can get attention, on and on. Life is a joke to them. Life is a stage to them, period. Also, he might have been some kind of narc because I noticed he would go into some kind of high mode, like he was high on a drug during an impulse thing he wanted to do. I think he's constantly waiting or creating the next high or hit to reach that adrenaline level. Yeah, sounds like it. And I wrote down here, they will even fake cheating. I've known borderlines to fake cheating. I've known borderline men to leave girls' panties out for them to be found, but with a great excuse why they're there. You know, they planned it all. So they're not in trouble. They didn't cheat. But man, is that doubt, that's insecurity, just build. It's abuse. You're abusing that relationship with someone else. You're hurting them, doing it over and over again. Deceiving, lying. Sick. Sick. Jesus, sick. Thank you. Emma from Europe, Sweden. Hello, Emma. My ex, I think, is antisocial narc. I know have contact with his ex-girlfriend. One of all girlfriends after me. She have a lot to talk about, and I now starting to feel bad about it. I want to help her, but I don't know how. I have 4 kids with him, and she got 1 kid with him. What should I do to help her and don't get hurt myself? Thank you for healing CPTSD videos. Really helped me a lot. Thank you, Emma. You're welcome. I have the best recommendation. And it happens to be best for both of you. It's wonderful, right? So what Emma is saying, for those of you who don't understand, as long as I've got it correctly, Emma was abused by a narcissist she had 4 children with. He went on to date somebody else and have a child with her and moved on. Now Emma has talked to this new victim. And now you feel bad because you want to know how to help her without hurting yourself and all this stuff. Here's the best thing for both of you. Burp, bump. Stop. Tell her, I'm sorry. I think you should get help because I can't help you. I'm sorry. It stresses me out. It causes me lots of anxiety when I talk to you. I have a lot of my own trauma to deal with in this relationship. So I'm getting help for myself now to deal with this. But right now, I'm sorry I can't deal with this. Maybe sometime in the future I can talk about this with you. I'm very sorry. I hope you get the help you need. Thank you. Bye-bye. It's the healthiest thing to do. It's great when 2 victims that have shared experiences, similar stories to share. It's great to get together, to validate each other, things like this. But don't forget that we still have 2 unhealthy people, right? You don't owe them anything. I understand. That's very nice of you. But it's real easy. You do what's right for you first, always. Okay? So figure out what's right for you and then do it. And if it feels good, you did the right thing. If it feels bad, think about how you could have handled that better and do that next time. Best advice. Best advice. Split apart. There's no reason for you 2 to be together. None. She's got some work to do. Maybe you do too still, but she does. You can tell, right? She does. And you're not a professional. So all you've done is validate things for her, which is great. Get some validation. That's wonderful. One very little small step required in full emotional traumatic recovery. That's it. There's not much else you can provide for her. So what do you do to help her? I can't think of anything else you can do. Give her money, give her rides, but it will probably hinder your recovery because you need to put this stuff in your past and not keep it in your present. This is too present for you. Too close. Hope that makes sense, Emma. Good luck. You seem like a great person. And that's what it comes down to. We want to do the right thing. And it's not so much that we want to do the right thing for them. It's how we handle situations. Say who we are. We want to make sure we walk away with situations not feeling guilty and ashamed, stuff like this. Trust me, the best way to do it is to do what's right for you. Trust me. You do what's right for you, less guilt, less shame. And if there's some way you did, there's a decision, but then there's how you handled it. And I hope you guys understand the difference. If I need to end a relationship, I need to end a relationship. It doesn't have to be, was that right or wrong? Oh no, oh no, oh no. How did it feel? Well, I wanted to end it, but I didn't like how I did it. That's it. You just didn't like how you did it. You want to do it a better way? Tell them you're sorry or something, or just next time. We learn, right? And if it's too much for that person to handle, they can go get help. That's what they should do. They're responsible for their emotions. You are not. Hope that makes sense. Thank you, everybody. That's the end of all the Q&As. Q&A Monday. I'll see you next Q&A Monday. Please ask me questions. Love yourself first, and share, subscribe, vote, things like that help. Thank you. Love yourself first. Bye, guys.